So in this video, I'm going to talk about sweat glands. And to start off with, there are two types of sweat glands, but only the Merocrine sweat glands are known as true sweat glands. And down here on the diagram below, Merocrine sweat glands are essentially the same thing as eccrine sweat glands, so this little blue thing right there. So for this video, we're going to talk about Merocrine sweat glands. And so sweat is a watery perspiration that helps cool your body. And so, as you know, when water evaporates, it has a cooling property. And these Merocrine sweat glands are actually the most numerous glands of the skin. And so they're found on the entire surface of the human body, but there are several areas where these sweat glands are highly concentrated. For example, the soles of the feet, the palm of your hands, as well as the forehead. And the anatomy of Merocrine sweat glands, they're just simple tubular glands, and they have a coiled duct. So as you can see down there, they have a coiled duct leading to a sweat pore on the surface. And this duct is lined by stratified cuboid epithelium in the dermis, and then it's lined by keratinocytes in the epidermis. And so now let's talk a little bit about sweat. So sweat begins as a protein-free filtrate of blood plasma that's produced by the secretory portion of the gland. And so sweat will have potassium ions, urea, lactic acid, ammonia, and some sodium chloride. And so as a result, sweat is 99% water, but with all of those ions and stuff in it, it'll have a pH of about 4 to 6, so it's pretty slightly acidic. One thing to note though is that most of the sodium chloride is reabsorbed as the secretion passes through the duct. And so one thing I want to mention is that the 1%, the other 1% of the total volume in sweat, consists of proteins such as immunoglobulins, which are proteins that function as antibodies, as well as glycoproteins, which are just proteins joined to carbs. And the last thing that I want to mention is that sweat is hypotonic, so that means it has a lower concentration of electrolytes than the cells of the sweat glands. And so the main thing that I really hope you got out of this is that sweat and sweat glands are really important because they help you regulate temperature. And so that's the most important thing about sweat and sweat glands. And so that pretty much sums it up for this video. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked it or found it useful, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this.